Welcome to KLANA'S Pleasure Hour. Klana, that's me. In this show, we explore conscious sexuality, body, mind, and spirituality, and how this is connected with pleasure and our personal growth and our relationships. Discover how to have more pleasure, more harmony in your relationships, and an amazing and fulfilling sex life.
Eve, let me quickly say who you are. You are a somatic sex educator and relationship counselor. And you have spent the last 15 years studying sexuality, and you have a very successful sexuality practice, working with men, women, and couples for the last 11 years.
Yeah.
And we met, I don't know how many years ago, a while ago.
Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
It could be in a training in Spain where we were taught about sexological bodywork. So you wanted to tell us about the evolution of men's sexuality today.
Wow, big topic, huh?
Mm-hmm. So I'm working mostly with women, and you are very experienced in working with men. So this is interesting for me too.
Sure. Well, I definitely work across the board, but men's sexuality, it's time. For the last, I would say 15, 20 years, we've been focusing on women's sexuality, and rightly so. We really needed to do that. And of course, that will continue. But right now, our men need our love and care and support.
Mm-hmm.
And our learning edge is very much around men's sexuality and how to really be with them. And now specializing in men's sexuality and realizing that it's anything but simple. Men's sexuality in the past has been considered as men are simple and women are complex. And from my experience in working with them, men are anything but simple.
Yes, so let us know. Can you be a little bit more specific?
For sure. Well, I think we've all been entrained and conditioned from a very conventional sex model. And I think as a result of looking through such a small lens at sexuality, we have a lot of dysfunctions as a result of that model. And when we start to take a broader view of understanding of what sexual energy is, we start to be able to see the forest for the trees. Mm-hmm. So in a conventional sex model, we would look, we're working from the hot, the hard, the fast sexuality viewpoint. And so looking at the other side of things, more of the feminine palette, the holistic viewpoint, which offers the cooler and the softer and the slower, which is often the not where we would normally go in sexuality. We're quite hot, hard, and fast. Mm-hmm. So and it's the hot, hard, and fast that creates an imbalance in the integrity of sexual energy when we're just coming from that viewpoint. So the hot is the intensity, it's the tension, it's the looking outside of ourselves, it's trying to make something happen, it's the fire energy, it's the passion, the chemistry. Yeah. So, and we think that if we don't have enough of that heat, that something's wrong. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That there's no sexual energy. And then we have the hard piece, you know, for men, we feel like there's only one gear for men to have, and that's hard or nothing. Nothing else is acceptable. Yeah. But the truth is that there's 4 ways that men ejaculate and orgasm. Yeah. The first way is the way we know, which is hard cock with ejaculation. The second way is hard cock with no ejaculation, but full body orgasm. And the third way is soft cock with ejaculation. And the fourth way is soft cock with no ejaculation but full body orgasm. So we're starting to stretch and understand that men's sexual pleasure actually has a greater field than what the conventional model is offering us.
Yeah.
And I'm a total sex geek. I love to look at men's sexuality, looking at all the different life stages that men go through in their life, all the different hormone changes that they have, from, puberty to 30, they're in their prime procreation years where the hormones and the testosterone is really at its peak. And then, from 30 onwards, 1% reduction each year until the late 40s, early 50s, and they have their first big reduction of testosterone, which converts into estrogen. And then later 50s to early 60s, they have their second big peak of the estrogen increase. And so what I'm finding in my practice is usually from the late 40s to the 60s, there's a lot of grief and loss that is occurring around their sexuality, because everything they've known to what is being a man is now slowing down, and their softness and their femininity is increasing, and they're wanting more cuddles, and they're wanting more heart connection, and they're wanting more intimacy in their sexuality. Yeah. And this comes from our conventional model not including softness as a part of their sexuality. Yeah. So men's softness is actually a natural part of their arousal wave. Yeah. It's when men are in their softness, they're in their receptivity, they're in their feminine. Yeah, they're in their allowing, they're in their surrender. Yeah. And so I think one of the next evolutionary pieces is men understanding that they have a feminine, that they have an internal feminine, and their relationship to their own internal feminine, and that their softness is a natural part of their arousal wave. And this, really kind of goes against our belief system. Yeah. That men are, anything about the feminine is not okay. Exhibiting any kind of feminine qualities, you're not allowed to feel, you're not allowed to emote, you're not allowed to cry, all of those ideas of men not being able to exhibit any kind of femininity. But of course our men feel.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you just described through the ages, so when the men bring more of that femininity into the play and not so much that hard, I mean, not hard, the hardness, and that also should be good for us women, because this is actually what we are longing for. Isn't it like that? Yeah. So it's not so easy, and that makes the whole story a little bit complex. We women, of course we want the force of that man, the really male person there in front of us. But on the other hand, we want that, this cuddling and the softness, and sometimes we miss that, especially with those forceful guys.
Yeah, sure. And I think, yes, us women, we're wanting to experience our men in their femininity, but then there's also a part of us that is like, oh, but not too much, yeah. And so there's a real art and you know, a real piece for women to grow there as how can I receive my man in his softness? Yeah. How can I hold space? How can I move into my masculine and hold space for him when he's in his feminine? Yeah. So there's a bit of tweaking and polishing and for us women to really learn how to hold men, how to really receive them. Yeah.
Wow. This is so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
parts of that that I didn't know, to be honest. So this is great
Yeah.
that I have you here.
I kind of like the analogy of a car. Yeah. So in a car, we have a gear system. And what would happen if we went from neutral to top speed in our car? Yeah. And what would happen if we did that every day? We went from neutral to top speed every day. We would blow our gearbox. Yeah. We would blow the transmission. And isn't that what men are doing when they're making love to their woman? They're transmitting their essence. The reason that we have gears in a car is to access different levels of power so that we can go over different terrains. Yeah. So for men to want to have a cock that is working for their entire lifespan, we have to learn that there's different gears in the car. Yeah, there's there's different gears so that we can access different types of power in our sexuality, so that we can go to many different places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So we have hot and we have hard and then we have fast, you know, and when we have fast, well, we're not feeling. We don't have time to feel because we're so busy going on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Our whole life is set up for this really fast pace. And so much is coming through. Yeah. But we don't even have time to process it. We kind of like push it when we feel things. We're pushing it to the side, to not actually be with it because we're too busy being on with the next thing. Yeah. So conventional sex is all the hot and the hard and the fast. It's the close your eyes and hope for the best. It's the big sensation. You know, it's all about sensation. And what happens for men in sensation is they can go two ways. They can either go sensation into becoming so sensitive that they're ejaculating too early, or they can go so sensitive that they move into numbness.
What does that mean too early?
Well, too early means that it's not a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That they are not controlling it.
Well, that they're not able to meet it and be with it and have a say in directing it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so them on the other side of things, we've got holistic sexuality, and it offers the second side of the coin. Yeah, conventional sexuality is one side of the coin. Holistic sexuality is the other, and that offers the cooler and the softer and the slower qualities to how we're meeting our sexual energy. And so the cooler is, you know, a woman is bringing her coolness. She's tempering that fire.
Mm-hmm.
She's bringing the slow burning logs to the fire. If she brings her heat, she's bringing her masculine, and the fire is burning also quickly, that the fire goes out very quickly. So the woman is bringing her slow burning logs to the fire. Even her body is designed to be slower in the way that it, you know, that it builds arousal. Yeah. So we need the cooler energy to temper and elongate our amount of pleasure time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the softness. I've got to say that, soft cock sex is some of the most exquisite sex that I've ever had the joy to experience. Yeah. And when I speak about soft cock, I'm not talking about a limp cock or a disconnected cock. Yeah, a soft cock is a cock that is totally present, that is alive and vibrating with beautiful, subtle, fine, refined energy. Yeah, it's not a disconnection at all. It's where we're just sitting inside each other. There's nowhere to go. We're already there. We're just dropping deeper into those more delicious, subtle, fine vibrations. There's very little movement on the outsides. So with conventional sex, it's kind of very raw and crude and lots of macro movements. Where in holistic sex, it's more, the movements are smaller. And in some ways, it doesn't even look like the body is moving, because the energy is coming from inside the body. So the focus is inward rather than outwards. Yeah.
And so you have, as a couple, more chance to be really intimate and connected.
Yeah. Yeah. So you may be kissing, you may be eye gazing, you may be in a meditative state, you may be laughing. Yeah, I know when I first started that I was kind of like, oh my God, nothing's happening. Yeah. Because we're so used to so much sensation. And so we kind of have to move through all of the mental objections and resistances to really relax. Because there's nothing to make happen here. It's just to surrender. It's just to allow. Yeah, it's to allow the energy to move you rather than you trying to move it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're actually together and you're waiting. You're waiting for that energy to show you. You're waiting for those lines of energy to open up and okay, let's follow this line. Let's see where this is going to open into. Yeah. So it's a very different approach to conventional sex, and what I find is it's got a very restorative effect. Yeah, it's really restoring. The amount of healing that happens in this kind of approach really integrates so much in the body and the being, of being in total relaxation. No effort, no pushing, no forcing. Yeah. And then we have the slow, and of course that's pretty self-explanatory. Slowing down to really feel what's going on, what's coming through. Yeah. So we have the hot and the hard and the fast and the cool and the soft and the slow, and we need both. Yeah. It's an interplay between the masculine and the feminine. Yeah. I'm a full smorgasbord woman. I want it all. Yeah. I want, I want to feel my man's strength. Sure, push me against that wall, take me. But I need a man who is really feeling his feminine, because in him being able to feel his own feminine, he's able to feel me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need a man who is completely present, so he can, we're really in the present moment, feeling every iota of energy of when our bodies are opening, and we hit somewhere, in, a little bit of a closure, and so it's, yeah, being able to be really following the energy. Yeah.
That sounds delicious. Is there a possibility to practice this kind of holistic sexuality also if you don't have a partner? Can you do that on your own?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that in your self-pleasuring. And I'd suggest there that, you build your energy, and then you relax and you savor, and then you build again and then savor and build again and savor. And it's in the savoring that we're really starting to build our sensitivity and feel those finer vibrations. Yeah. Because we're just used to going, building,
Yes.
building. Yeah. We're trying to use that one gear continuously instead of really understanding that we have more gears to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, this is super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you work with men and with couples and
Yeah.
teaching them those things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, this information is just as valuable for women, in relation to, how to really start to understand men's sexuality. I don't think women have really, there's so much new information that's coming out on men's sexuality. There's so many dots to connect, yeah, that we haven't been connecting. Yeah, and so men have their own landscape, and there's so much to learn that I think we've just been missing because we've just been seeing it as so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that women have also been conditioned in the hot and the hard and the fast.
Yes.
So they're learning about their internal masculine, of how he's, been pushing and forcing and trying to make, penetrate too early and make it all happen. Yeah. So there's a lot of parallel of women learning about the way they're approaching their own sexuality as well.
This is such a wide field.
Mm-hmm.
And we are reduced to such a little bit of the whole thing. So there's so much to be discovered.
Absolutely, absolutely. While we're stuck in the hot and the hard and the fast, we can't see the forest for the trees. There is so much more available to us, that is just not available, just not, acknowledged or seen in conventional sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the, it's the dysfunction that is pointing the way. Yeah. So I see dysfunction as two things. I see dysfunction as a byproduct of a suppressive, conventional approach, and then I see it as a gift. Totally reframing dysfunction, and it's an absolute gift, asking you to go deeper, and ask, like letting you know that this, the hard fast approach may not be what your body is actually requiring. Yeah. That your body actually requires something else. So what I find in my practice is that the large majority of men that are coming and seeing me, there's absolutely zero wrong. There's nothing wrong. You know, we'll spend the first half of the session defragging the mind, getting a broader viewpoint and understanding how sexual energy works better. And then we do our body work and there is no dysfunction present because all of the pressure's been taken off. Yeah. There's no need for him to be anything whatsoever. He's welcome in whatever way he turns up. That's what we work with. And when that level of pressure is taken off and you're just free to be, yeah, for the large majority of time, there's absolutely zero wrong. It's just the approach. It's just the way we're looking at it.
Exactly. That's the same for men and women. So this is why my motto is from pressure to pleasure. If you take the pressure off and are in the present moment, nothing is wrong. We can just be, as you said. Yeah. And another thing that I find is important is to get, it's actually my mission, to get that taboo of that topic, sexuality, so that everybody can talk like we talk here now. And it's normal. There is nothing dirty about it. No, it's just normal.
Yeah, there's no shame, there's no guilt.
Exactly.
But I think that's a process that we're all, you know, we're all traversing. We've been unpacking, you know, our ideas. We all have such a strong conditioning around sexuality. You know, the church and the state the last couple of thousand years is, you know, given us a lot to unlearn. And as we start to really connect to our sexuality and unpack all these pieces that are not working for us, we start to move into this freer place and hold this different place in our body. And it's all about the energy that we hold. The greatest relationship we are ever having is the one with self.
Absolutely.
And all relationship outside of ourselves is reflecting back to us the quality of relating that we're having with ourselves.
And this is why I say it always starts with yourself. In general and in sexuality as well. So you need to learn your body by yourself first before you can really do something different. Let's say it like that. It's not that you cannot do anything with somebody else, but you can. It's way more profound. Yeah.
Sure. Well, sure. And then relationship is a divine vehicle for reflecting back to yourself. The next piece is to polish.
Yeah. Okay. Eve, are you also working online? With people, can you deliver online?
Yeah, definitely. I'm working with people from all over Australia and different parts of the world online, and got some beautiful programs and love building relationships online with people. And
that's good. And in our society nowadays, it's important that we can do that because we are more and more connected. So this is now the talk from Ibiza and Byron Bay. I think I'm always excited about the technology here. How can people reach you?
Probably the best way is my website, and that is www.tantrabyronbay.com. So TANTRA ByronBay.com.
I will write it out later so that people can see it. Yeah. If you want to know more, contact either Eve or me, and you can book a free pleasure discovery session with me to find out if we are fit. And I thank you so much for this interesting information. I got a lot out of it, and I assume our audience as well. So yeah.
I was just going to say, I've actually writing a book at the moment. I'm in the second third of writing my book, so that this broad viewpoint can be really unpacked and expanded upon, and so I'll have that out hopefully in the next few months.
This is fantastic. Please keep us posted.
I will. Bless
Thank
you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bless you. Thanks, Klana. Ciao.